Chef, needed the remoise. No. The meeting lo remoise. Nami, the thing we said like this: if it's a piece of food that is not disgusting,
You put it back.
no, we said spit it out and make the bracha and then swallow it. The Gemara asked, why not nami l'skalin l'tzad echad? Why not just move it to the one side? Why spit it out? So there's a reason for that. Tirgum Rav Yitzchak Kaskol Kamed Rav Yosef Rav Mishmeid Rav Yechla Mishum Shnemar Yimale pi tehilascha says you shall fill your mouth with the praises of Hashem. So if you have something, it's not the best way to do it to move it to you. Buy it wherever it's a EF shar. Right? There's no other way to do it. So, but it's better if you can spit it out and have a full mouth when you make the bracha. It fulfills that pasuk.
So if you did end up swallowing it,
So you make the bracha.
make bracha on the next piece.
That means when you end up swallowing it, make the bracha and then continue eating.
Yeah.
Right? Boy, my name Rav Chizr Misha Achal v'Shasav V'Loi Berach. Somebody ate and drank and didn't make the bracha. Ma'u sheyachzir v'vorach. Can he make the bracha again? Armelu, I understand. Misha Achal Shum V'Reichel Noidev. If somebody ate garlic, he's got bad breath. Yachzir v'Yochel Shum Achar Kadesh Reichel Noidev. You should eat more garlic. Have worse bad breath. That means he finished the whole meal, and only then did he remember he should still make the bracha. Where do we see this? Tanya. Tava v'Allah. So a person is tamei. He has to go to the mikveh. So do you make the bracha before he goes to the mikveh? No. First you go in the mikveh. V'Allah. Oimer b'aliyasu bracha sheket shemin tzveitzah v'nala tefillah. And the Gemara wants to say the same thing here. Even though you ate and ate and ate, okay, you can make the bracha. However, the Gemara doesn't like the tushta, doesn't like the comparison. Lohi. Hasami kar gavrloi chazi. Buy it. He had an EF problem. Because he's not roy to make a bracha, because he's tummy. There's no other way to do it, except be mitar yourself, then make the bracha. Here, hachami kar gavr chazi, v'hoil v'yitchi yitchi. In fact, I saw there is some debate in halacha. Shochach v'ocha v'lo bircha moitzi. Im niskar b'toch hasuda mevorech, v'lo niskar shegomer sudoso eina mevorech.
Does he bench?
He benches, but he doesn't make the first bracha. I saw that another opinion. I'm not sure I think the Mogen Avraham says you can make the bracha, but you eat something after you make that bracha. And that's what the Mogen Avraham says. It means, let's say you remembered, so make a bracha again, but make sure you eat another piece of bread. Let's say if you made a motzi or something after that. Doesn't bring it, maybe somewhere else.
That makes sense.
Once you made a bracha achrona, then you don't go back.
We're talking about the bracha Rishona.
But I'm saying, but he forgot to do it.
Yeah, no, then
He
you don't go
didn't- he
back.
didn't even make
No,
the
that's
bracha.
certainly hol v'yinitcha nitcha.
Yeah.
Now, Torah Bonon, asparagus.
Asparagus?
Well, it's not asparagus. This is some kind of drink that was made with wine. Rashi says, "Kosha yishosim b'chol boker." It's like V8. It woke you up. It was like it was
undiluted wine or beer with cabbage. Oh,
it was some kind of
delicious. Therapeutic drink.
but it was like for energy to get you
Yeah.
going in the morning.
V8 doesn't have a hextra though,
I didn't mean
you know?
V8.
I know, just kidding.
A V8 does have
I
extra.
don't think so. Does it?
No?
I thought it did have a hextra, that's why people need it.
think
No,
it
I never
got
had
extra.
that. We
I
never
think
grew
what-
up
I
having
think
that.
We
when
never did
Campbell,
either.
I think Campbell's gave it extra recently.
They did?
I think
Oh,
so,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
My
Campbell's
kid told
soup
me.
I think had a hechsher too for a
I
period
think
of
when
time.
they went
Tomato,
together,
just tomato.
the
had it.
tomato, and I think it somehow this latched onto. I have to look again. Somebody told me.
Okay. Torah Rabbanon, asparagus, which is this drink. Yofel leiv, it's good for the heart. Tov leinaim, it's good for your eyes. V'kosher
So are
it's
beans.
good for intestines. The haragil bo, whoever drinks this all the time, yofel lechol gufo, it's good for his whole body.
Oh.
However, amishtaker, if you get drunk from it, kash lechol gufo, so you can't overdo it. That miditoni yofel leiv, for the fact that it's good for the heart, it must be mechlal de bechamras kinan. Because asparagus could be made from either wine or beer. So this one must be made of wine. Uketani, v'kosh. And it also said that it's good for the intestines. Vatanya, lelev einayim toiv, right?
What's the morning?
Yofet leramos kasha. Rosh me'ayim tachtonios. So reish memtes is the head, your intestines, and hemorrhoids is bad. How can you tell me it's good for the intestines? It's bad for the intestines. So kitanya b'miyushin. Depends. If it's aged wine and it's good for the intestines, can it not? If a person makes a neder, koinim yayin shani toyin, shayayin koshel demai. He takes a neder. I'm not going to drink wine because when I drink it, it's bad for my intestines. And if they tell him, toch kedei dibur of the neder, armulo v'alo miyushin yofel l'bnei. But they tell him, oh, you know, aged wine is good for the intestines, v'shosak, and he didn't protest, then his vow is qualified. Aser b'chodesh, but umutur b'miyushin. Since he was told that miyushin is good for him, his neder didn't apply to that. Since he specifically specified, why is he making the neder? Because he had heard that it was bad for intestines. Shmami, no, that's a good proof. Torah Baruch. Shisha dvarim nemru baspargus. 6 things were said about this drink. Ein shoyz neso ela kishu chai. You have to drink it, fresh, raw. Umale, the cup should be full. Mekablu b'yamin, you should receive the cup with your right hand. V'shosei b'small, drink it with your left hand. Ve'en masichen achra, don't speak after you drink it. Ve'en mafsikin bo, don't be mafsik during it. Ve'en machzir noso ela misha nostolo, don't give it back only to the person who gave it to you. Verak achrav, you should spit after drinking it. The ein soimchna so elabimino, that other foods that you eat afterwards should be from the same species that it was made from. No, you shouldn't do bimino. You should only do it with bread. Loikasha, depends if it was made from wine or if it was made from beer. Tani chad. We said lelev enayim yofe, and lerosh me'ayim tachtonim kosher. However, Tani dich leramos lerosh me'ayim tachtonim yofe and lelev le'ayin kasher. Again, like kasher abedacham abedashich. It depends. One is wine, one is beer. Tani chad rak achrav. If you spit afterwards, loike. And another price says loy rak achrav loike. If you didn't spit afterwards, you get malchus. Like kasher. It depends if you make it out of beer or out of wine. Now that you told me that if you didn't spit afterwards, you get malchus. That means, so you're allowed to spit even though you're in front of the king, and it would be a busha to do that in front of the king. But the way you're saying it's like a sakon in the flesh, it's pikuach nefesh. So you'd be allowed to do it even b'fnei hamelech. Omer Vishma ben Elisha. Shloisha dvorim sachli Suriel sarapnim. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha was the Kohen Gadol. He would go lifnai v'lifnim. And I guess in his sojourns there, he would encounter various malachim. He encountered Suriel sarapnim. And he heard him say, Al titoch halokcha shachris miyad hashamesh v'tilbash. Don't take your shirt in the morning from your valet and get dressed with it. Don't take netilas yadayim water from somebody who hasn't washed his hands. Don't give back this special type of kos, except from the person who gave it to you. Mipnei shetechaspis, the army law is to lagnis shel malachi chavala. It's going to cause anger among the malachi chavala. And mitzapin lo adam v'oimrim, these malachim say, oh, when is this human being yavo adam liyadi that I will be able to chap him in like the malach hamavis, right? Echad b'dvar malolav yilakin, and I will catch him on one of these things that they said you shouldn't do with this kind of coast, and we'll trap him. Malach hamavis also told Rabbi Shimon Levi 3 things. Al titol chalukha shachos miyad hashamash v'tilbash. Don't take your morning clothing from your valet and get dressed with it. Do it yourself, I guess. Don't wash your hands. Don't accept water to wash your hands from somebody who hasn't washed his hands yet. Don't stand in front of women. When the women are coming back from a levaya, don't be there, because I guess there's some kind of ruach ra there at that point. Because I, the Malcham Malchus, are there. My sword is in my hand. And I have permission to destroy. Now, let's say you happen to be on the street and a procession of women coming back from a funeral happened, you can't get away. It's happened in front of you. Ipoga maita kante. Lin shot meduchte arba amis. You should jump away from that place 4 amis. Or iikanara liavre. If there's a river, cross the river. V'ika darkachrina lezup. If there's a different road, go on a different road. V'ika guda. If there's a wall, lake lachla, go behind the wall. V'ilov. None of this exists. Leheder apik. Turn around. The layman. Say this pasuk. Vayom Hashem el Satan. Yigar Hashem b'cha Satan. Adachaf. Until the possession sort of leaves your eyesight. 10 things were said about a koshel bracha. You need to wash it well on the inside and on the outside. It should be chai. It should be undiluted. Umale. That should be full. Itur v'ituf. The Gemara will explain what that is. It's sort of be surrounded with things. Noitla b'shteder should pick it up with 2 hands, but the noisla be a min. Eventually, it should reside in your right hand. Umagbiyah min akarka tefach. You should lift it up from whatever it is, like on the table, at least a tefach. The noisen einav bo. You should look at the cup. V'yesh oimrim af meshag maton lan shebeso. You should, after you drink from it, you should send it as a gift to your wife. Whatever's left. That's the meaning of giving it to your wife to drink. Rav Yochanan, anu ein lanu ela arba bilvad. La halacha, we only have 4. Hadacha shtifa. A kosher bracha has to be rinsed on the inside and the outside. Chai umole. That it has to be, not diluted, and the kos has to be full.
This washing and rinsing, I've been by some Hasidim, and before they make Kiddush, they'll wash the kos out just immediately before.
That's hadacha shtifa. They try to be mekayim directly. But
And what's the thing about putting a little water in your
Yeah,
glass?
and must be
the
related
Shulchan
to
Aruch
this.
says, "Mekabel b'shtei yadav." You should pick it up with both hands. But when you start doing the bracha, you should hold in your right hand.
Yeah.
And don't v'lo yisayeb is small. Don't let your left hand help. Says the Ramah, "Hainu dafka shlo tiga small bakos." But the noitin small tachas hayamin l'sayeh. If you could put your left under your right hand, mutter. Umagbiyam akarka tefach should lift it up a tefach. U'yoshel gabi karka. U'meisa b'shulchan umagbiyam ala shulchan tefach. If you're on the ground, either way, up a tefach. B'noisim bei einav. Lenny, I'm in my daf yomi shir now. V'umeisa b'shulchan magbihe. You lift it up. Mela shulchan tefach. Noisim bo ein. You should look at it. V'noit shelo yasich daito. Says the Ramah. While kenin looking close, shepiv tsar, shekoin gluk, close, levarchalov, I don't know what he means. Umashagr liishto tishto b'menet. He should send it to his wife to drink from it.
So what's with the thing about putting some water in it? You know anything about that?
Well, you have to rinse it. It has to be rinsed from the inside and the outside. So
Yeah, so you.
maybe they're makayim that at
It's
that
already
time.
cleaned already, right?
Then that's all you need. So if you make a bracha on a kos mole, you are given a yerusha without end. Shenemar umale berkas Hashem yam v'darom yerasha. That having a full kos when you make kiddush or any kosher bracha, you get oilam as another mabah. Now we said itur, which is sort of decorating it. Rav Yehuda ma'atra b'talmidim. He would make sure when he made kiddush there were a lot of talmidim around him. Rav Chisda ma'atra b'natli. he would put a lot of cups. So do you see a minig that there's a cup and then many little cups around it? That fulfills this din. Om Rav Chanan uvachai, and it has to be undiluted. Om Rav Sheshes ubirkas haaretz. Ubirkas haaretz. I don't know what he means by birkas haaretz. I mean by the noidel lecha. I guess it should be there. What's ituth? Rav Papa Ma'atev Yosef, he would put on a turban. That's why some people you see are makpit put on their hat again. People who wear hats
When they make
to
kiddush.
shul. I know Yankov Goldfinger always, if he's at my house, he'll always go and get his hat. In yeshiva, I think you learn,
To make
they wear a coat. Those people that wear a coat and a hat when they daven,
Yeah.
so they'll put a hat on when they. It's from this piece where it says Ma'atev because they wore something on their head. Ravasi Poris Sudrovish, right? He put a turban on his head. Noit lebishtei yadav. We say you pick it up with two hands. Amrav Chanina bar Papa Mikra, because it says a pasuk. Su'u yedechem kodesh u'barchos Hashem. Yedechem means two of your hands. The noisin leyamin, give it to your right hand. Amrav Chia bar Rav Yechon, Rishonim Shalu. The early people asked, small Maushet Seliman, can the left hand help the right hand? Since the Rishonim asked, and they didn't answer, that they should not do it at the time. That they should only hold it with the right hand. That's why the Ramah said you could, if you need help, you could hold your right hand.
Even if you're left-handed, you still have to hold it in your right hand?
I would say it's probably like this. I mean, if you're left-handed, that's your right. That's your really like your right hand.
Probably not so good with your right hand.
The Shulchan Aruch always gives us the basic halacha, the question of an outlier, like somebody who's a lefty. It's a good question.
You say
I mean, by
because
tefillin, we
most
know-
people are right-handed, so you have to make it, you're right-handed, but if people are left, it's stronger hand, usually the reason why is probably.
No, but it's not because
stronger hand.
Hashem's Zroya is the right.
I know, it's like a
Like,
coin
the
that's a
coin-
lefty, it's puzzle. It's puzzle to do avoda.
Right, he has to do it with his right hand. He has to
Yeah.
train himself to do it with his right
Yeah,
hand.
If he can do
So
it.
vamos a poner
It's not but if he's left-handed,
you're
then he's got a
leftist,
problem.
Bernie
Umagviyam in akarka tefach. We're on nun aleph amid beis. Umagviyam in akarka tefach. You have to lift
He
the
was
coast
left-handed.
up by a tefach. Amar Machabarchani Mikra coast Yeshua's esa. I have to raise it. Uv'shem Hashem ekra. V'noisin einav. We have to look at it. Ki hechev lo nesach taitim, so you don't take your mind off the bracha. U'mishargal anshe beiso. V'maton, you send it to your wife for a gift. Ki heched tizbrach visu. So his wife shall be blessed. Ula ikla be Rav Nachman. Ula visit Rav Nachman. Korach rifta, and they broke bread. Berchos mezona. They were going to bench. Yovla casa de Berchos Rav Nachman. So I guess Rav Nachman was going to do the kosher bracha. Amarle Rav Nachman. Lishter mar casa de Berchos Yalta. Okay, and let me send the remainder to my wife Yalta. Amarle Hachem Rav Yechnan. So Rav Zera, who was Ula, you don't need to do that. Because the blessing of the fruit of the womb of the wife is blessed because of the husband. Shenemar, ubarech pri bitnecha. Pri bitnecha refers to a masculine. Pri bitneloi nemar pri bitnecha. So she will get. She doesn't. You don't need it to send her the bracha, the kosher bracha, because she is blessed through you. The womb of a woman is benched through his husband. Shnemar, uvarech privitnecha. Privitneloi nemar la privitnecha. But meanwhile, adahachi shama yalta. The wife heard that Ula doesn't want to send her the coast. Kama bezir v'asal be'chamra v'tar v'dad me'an dani de chamra. She went into the wine cell and broke 400 barrels of wine. Send her another cup. Shalach la kol hai nivga de birchasa he. Means all of the barrels are gebenched. She was still upset. Shachle mimadure mili umismar mute kalmi, which is a saying.
Your
So,
words are
because he,
meaningless.
Ula sort of wore tattered clothing. He also schlepped from city to city. So, like,
From itinerant peddlers come wild idle words,
right,
and from old rags come lies.
right.
It's
So
funny.
she wasn't pleased
was
with
upset.
Ula's
Yeah.
comments. Amravasi, ein mesichin al koshel
Yeah,
brocha.
temper that.
And you may not talk until you finish, you make the bracha and you drink. Amravasi, mevarchim al koshel peronos. You don't make a bracha on a kos of evil. Now, what's my koshel peronos? Amravasi Yitzchak, kos sheni, a second kos. Because remember, Chazal had an understanding that you shouldn't drink pairs of cups that brought demons. You only bring one cup of wine. If you bring 2 cups of wine, that's zugos, and that's a problem. So don't drink the second cup. That's
So
a
you can
that's a
drink two.
peronos. Who's?
You can drink 3.
Don't drink zugos. Tanamar kashosa kiflayim lo yuvarech. Mishum shenemar hikon likras lokach Yisrael. V'hai lo masakin. Here you're not preparing likras Yisrael. You're ruining it. Amar vov amar lo masnisa tana oichel umalach mavarech. Ha'oichel umahalech. If somebody's eating while he's walking, mavarech ma'umid, he should bench standing as well. Ukshu oichel ma'umid. It means if he's not walking, but he's just standing, he still should be mavarech ma'yushav. He should sit to bench. And of course, the kushu mesiv, if he's reclining for oichel, yoshev mavarech, he sits and benches. In all these halachas, whatever you're doing, you're standing, you're walking, you're standing, and you're eating. When you come down to bench, you have to sit down. The following differences exist between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai when it comes to a meal. Beis Shammai when you make kiddush, you first say Mekadesh HaShabbos, v'achar kach mevarach al hayayin. Ubeis Hillel mevarach al hayayin, boi per hagef, and v'achar kach mevarach al hayom. We of course paskin like Beis Hillel. Beis Shammai oimrim noitum liyadayim, v'achar kach moizkin hasakois. First you wash your hands and then you pour the wine. Ubeis Hillel oimrim no moizkin hasakois, v'achar kach noit ladayim, like we do. Beis Shammai oimrim kanech yadav b'mapeh. After you do Natilas Yadayim, you dry your hands on a towel. You put the towel on the table. Beis Hillel oimrim no, ala keses. You put it on the pillow that you sit on. Beis Shammai oimrim machadin es habayis. First you sweep the house, then you wash your hands. First you wash your hands, then you sweep the house. Beis Shammai oimrim if you have a meal late Shabbos night, and you haven't made Havdalah yet, and the meal extends into night, and so now you do ner, you make a bracha moira ha'esh, umazoin, and you bench, besamim, and then you make the bracha of Havdalah, mavdil ben or l'chosh ben Yisrael amin. Ubeis Hillel ner, ubesamim, mazoin v'Havdalah. We don't pass like any of this. Beis Shammai, what's the bracha of ner? Shabor ma'or ha'esh. Ubeis Hillel boire ma'oire ha'esh, which is how we do, on the bracha wise, not the
Is this
same.
is this where you start the meal when
Saturday
it's
night,
after Shabbos?
and you have a meal, then it extends. Your shalosh extends all the way to Shabbos.
While Shabbos is still on, you started.
You started,
So the question is, what do you say? What say?
and where did the Muslim fit in? So we have ner Muslim psamim v'Havdalah. Beis Hillel says ner psamim Muslim v'Havdalah.
So Mazo, do you include what say in there? What do you do?
Yeah, because you weren't mavdil yet.
So the Asian comes afterwards, obviously.
Who's?
The Havdalah came
No,
after.
ner upsamim mazoin ve'Havdalah.
So the Havdalah,
The
which includes the Nair.
Again, we do it different because we are here in shul. We already heard Havdalah. Yeah, and we davened out. We said at the chonein. We were mavdil about the chonein. So this is talking about like a special case where you're at home and you're having a meal, and your meal extended now into Motzei Shabbos. Where do you put the birchas hamazon? So according to this is not halacha.
The
Right?
Birchas Mazo with Ritzay, though?
With would say because you didn't do Havdalah yet.
Yeah, so.
Havdalah is last according to all the
Right,
shittas.
So it's not, right after it's Havdalah, right, okay.
Because Havdalah is
It's
last.
not simultaneously then.
Say it again.
It's not simultaneous, yeah. Havdalah is
Oh,
last.
Ner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's an order.
Yeah,
Ner,
yeah.
Mazon, So certainly you would say psamim and then v'avdallah.
Why near?
That's what this order is. The Gemara is going to ask on all of this.
Candle, when we
Huh?
light the candle.
No, but you did, how can you say?
You must have
it?
davened. You must have
You must
davened.
have said
Yeah,
daven.
or you must have.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I mean,
So then you can't say Ritzay then,
why not?
because if you say Antonu, how can you say Ritzay? if
So you didn't say. Let's say it's a ner sheshava, and you didn't like the ner. The
Okay.
ner existed from already Friday, and it's
Okay.
still there.
All right.
So you'd have to light the ner.
So you.
So you make a. Remember, why do we make a bracha ner Motzei Shabbos? Because fire was created Motzei Shabbos.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the Havdalah.
Uh-huh. But if you can't.
So, for
do
example, if you can't do
You
it,
can't do it, yeah.
you can't do it. But let's say this was a case where the ner was there.
Okay, okay.
That when you, because for them Shabbos is not out until the Havdalah.
Right.
Until you make the Mavdil,
Right.
it's still Shabbos. There's this Ein Mavarchin Lo Al Ner V'Lo Al Psamim Shel Akum. Let's say it's a goy's ner or goy's psalm, you don't make a bracha. V'Lo Al Ner V'Lo Al Psamim Shel Mesim. Right? If it belongs to a dead person, or no. For example, the ner was lit l'kovid a mace. We don't use that.
No, you can't get enough.
And for example, let's say there's certain perfume because the mace doesn't smell good, right? You can't use that. V'lo al aner, v'lo al psamim shel avodah zarah, because you can't have hana. Ve'im mevorchen al aner ad sheyos lo oro. That's this business. You shouldn't make a bracha until you benefit from it. So that's why we benefit from it while we're making the bracha. By looking at our fingernails, we're having light shine, so we see a distinction between our fingernail and our finger. That's what we're looking. That's what we look. We need benefit from the light. Misha achal b'shachach v'lo birech. Somebody forgot to bench after eating. Beis Shammai omrim yachzor limkomo. He has to go back to where he was sitting. Before. No. Wherever you remembered, wherever you are, when you remember, that's where you should be. Okay, that mosai mavarech. Now, when can you not bench? I mean, how long after a meal can you? All of a sudden you remembered, oh, I didn't bench. Well, if it's 5 hours later, can you bench? So it says ad kadesh yisakel hamazon shebemeyav. How much it takes to for the meal? If the meal is still digesting in your intestines, you can still make a bracha. Now, we'll have to see what that means. La halacha. What does that mean? La
It
halacha.
was 72 minutes, I don't know.
We'll have to see what that means. Bolehen yain achra mazon. And now, let's say there's wine cups that came even after you finished eating. Im ein shamel also kos. There's only that kos. Beis Shammai omrim mevarchel hayayin. V'achar kach mevarchel hamazon. So you make, because you still haven't benched, so you can make a bracha on the yayin, the new yayin, because you didn't know that there was yayin coming. So you can make this like you don't know that fruit is coming, so you make a boy priya eitz, right? Same thing here. No, there's a new custom. Has nothing to do with the meal. Mavarch al hamazon. You finish that meal. Like we do many times, right? Make a boy priya gefen after you finish like when you by Sheva brachos, etc. We'll see whether that's connected to that. And do another halacha. Oinin amen, achar yisrael mavarech. When a Jew makes a bracha, he should say amen. Ve'ein oinin amen achar kusi mavarech. Ad shishma kol bracha kula. Now, a kusi, if he made a full bracha and you heard the whole thing, you could say amen. But if you didn't hear the whole thing, you couldn't say amen. L'chor, it sounds like by Yisrael you could. Afilu lo shom el sof bracha. But we learned that isn't that an amen yisoma? Remember, you have to hear the whole bracha. Maybe just part of it. So the Gemara will deal with that. Ton rabbanon dvarim shebei Beis Shammai v'hil besuda. Beis Shammai oim mevarch al hayom achar mevarch al yayin. Beis Shammai said first you make mekadesh haShabbos, you say the kiddush, and then borei priya gefen. Why? Shahayom gorin layayin sheyavo. Ukvar kiddush hayom. Well, what led for you to make kiddush? The sun set. Now Shabbos. So the day is the change of the day happened first. So we should say Mekadesh Shabbos, then the Ber Pregev. Vadanya and Labo. Beisomim says Mavarch Layan Vakak Vorlayam. No, Shayayin goren la kedusha tzri. If you didn't have yayin, you wouldn't say kedusha. So what led to the kiddush being made? Yayin. So therefore, you should make the bar geffen first. For some reason, Beis Hillel finds it necessary to give us a dover acher, another reason. He says like this: Birkas hayayin tadira. You can make a bar geffen every day if you like to drink wine. Birkas hayom ena tadira. Birkas for kiddush Shabbos is once a week. So we have a principle, tadir, v'she'eno tadir, tadir kodem. Whatever, if you have two competing things to do at the same time, one is more frequent than the other, so the halacha is you do what's more frequent. So tadir v'she'eno tadir, tadir kodem. Well, period. So the Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel gave us their opinions, and the Gemara now says, halacha kedivrei Beis Hillel. Now, the Gemara asks a few questions. First of all, my davar acher. Why did Beis Hillel have to give me another answer? Because Beis Shammai also gave me two. He says, what led Shayom Goren Liyayin Shayavo? He also gave us two reasons. And Beis Hillel maybe only had one, so Beis Hillel wanted to show he had two as well. That he gave the reason of Birchas Hayayin Tadira, Birchas Hayom Ena Tadira, Tadir Shein Tadira Kodev, period. So that's why he gave us the other one. Because L'chor Beis Shammai had two reasons, so Beis Hillel wanted to be equal. Then the Gemara asks, why did you have to tell me halacha k'divrei Beis Hillel? Pshita, da nafka baskol. We know the famous story. It's another Gemara where a baskol came out and said, we paskel like Beis Hillel. So obviously, right now you're coming to halacha. Here's the machlokes Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. Halacha Beis Hillel. Oh, we know that halacha like Beis Hillel throughout Shas. The baskol came and said halacha like Beis Hillel. So aim according to baskol. So number one, this Gemara might have been before the baskol. So they had to vote. So they voted in halacha Beis Hillel. Di boy say melachar baskol. Some say no. This is even after the baskol. Yeah, but if there's a baskol. So Rabbi Yeshua, the Omer ein mashgichim bevaskol. We don't listen to the baskol because lo b'shamayim. So that's why the Gemara had to say that the pasuk like Beis Hillel.